Okay, this is a quick demo of my favorite bass head, the Peavey MegaBass. These are made in the late 80s, early 90s, and I'm going to just show a few of the major features of it. Here's the pre-gain. You do not have to pull this up very much. Quick operation is pre-gain and then post-gain on both amplifiers. The MegaBass has two 200 watt amplifiers, and you can run it full range or bi-amp. And let's flatten everything out here. Right now I've got this running into a 210 cabinet for the top amplifier and a 115 for the bottom, which is a pretty standard bi-amp setup. So basically the low range down here, high, so low and high, and you can sort of mix this to taste. You can run these in full range, so if you only wanted one cabinet, let's just do the 15 all by itself. The 210 all by itself. Or you could run them both. And I like this punch switch, just boosts the bass. You can scoop the mids a little bit. It's loud. This input pad is helpful. I think it's designed for active basses. But I was on a gig the other night where the whole thing was just way too loud, and so. Alright. Now a couple other things. This will take a low impedance input. It really does knock the volume down of the unit quite a bit. I imagine you would be taking that off if you were like using this as a PA head or coming off of some other kind of low impedance instrument. This pre-EQ right here, this does the volume for the send and return. You need a stereo plug going to a Y jack for an effects pedal chain. Obviously you got the 9-band EQ here. There's a bright switch that adds a lot of top end, so too much in my opinion. Obviously post gain for both amplifiers. This is the full range preamp out on the back. You'll see that. There is a pretty nice chorus. It's not too wet. And it only goes through the top amp. So there's a foot switch to select that. Last thing I'll show you on here is there is a selectable crossover. I like running it at about 200 hertz. But you can crank it up and send a lot more of the signal to the upper cabinet. But right now, if you listen, the bottom cabinet is really doing the lows. And the top by itself is really just doing the highs. Add those together and get a really sweet kind of... And I prefer that to the full range sound. The bi-amp sound. It's a little throatier in my opinion. Alright, I'm going to show you the back end of it. Okay. This part's pretty simple, but it is really important, and a lot of MegaBass owners say you really want to read the manual for this head. Obviously a power, there's a 5-amp fuse that you can replace if it blows. Let's go all the way over here to it's a preamp out with a 1/4 inch. That takes the entire full range signal. That's the signal you'd want to send to a PA. That's not really ideal. It would be nice to have that as an XLR, but it's not. And here's a power amp in. It's kind of a loop. I don't use these at all. This is great. This preamp out is great for a external tuner if you want to use it. if you were using this in a really large setting with a like arena setting or with a really sophisticated sound guy, it does have DI out for the low and the high range. So for example, your sound person could split your signal, maybe only run EQ on the high range and just send the low out by itself. But this is the important part to pay attention to. This is the two amplifiers. You can kind of think of it, here's the high amp, here's the low amp. Each amp can go all the way down to 4 ohms. And it says 200 watts, but these 200 watts will eat modern watts for breakfast, in my opinion. I think it really is a very, very loud amplifier. I had a gig on Friday and played it actually through a Peavey cabinet, and there was no way that I could even get past 1 or 2 on that pre-gain. So in parallel, you could run 2 8-ohm cabinets off of this top amplifier. For example, these 2 8-ohm cabinets I have right now, I could run them off of one amplifier at the full 4 ohms. Same is true for the bottom. So if you wanted to, you could have 4 8-ohm cabinets running off of this amplifier. It's very flexible. And you'd also have separate volume controls for each of these. So that's the Peavey MegaBass. These are a lot of these units were made, so you can pick them up pretty reasonably and regularly on places like eBay and Craigslist. And as gigging bass amps go, you really can't beat it. It's a great amp.